Hey folks, Lonnie back out here shopping again tonight. We're going to continue working on the belt sander. I know the last video I said we was going to make the tool rest or the base that you set your stuff down on the table. But we're not going to make that just yet. We're going to go ahead and start making the framework for the belt sander. What I've got here is I've got the main part where your front, I forget what they call this. I know it's a D plate, but anyhow, we've got that part made. Now we need something for that shaft, the arm right here to slide into, which is going to be the frame. That is 1.5 by 1.5 cold roll steel. So what we've got some 2-inch square tubing here. It's box steel, 3/16 wall, okay? But if I put that tubing inside of here, it's got a lot of slop in it. So I don't like that. It'll cause a lot of problems down the road. So what we're going to do, we're going to make our own. We've got 1/4 inch by 1.5 cold roll flat stock here. And then we've also got 2 inch by 1/4 inch cold roll. What we're going to do is we're going to make our own tubing for the frame the same way I did on the homemade UTV here. As you can see, I made my own box channel. So that's what we're going to do on this one. We've got to cut quite a few pieces, but all in all, it's going to work out great, I hope. But first of all, let me get this stuff cut down to size, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we're going to make it. Alright folks, finally got all that cut. Now I'm explaining to you what we have here. This is going to make up the framing of the belt sander. We got 6 pieces, 1.5 by 0.25 times, or by 10 inches long. There's 6 of them. This is a 2 inch by 1/4 inch by 10 inch long. There's 6 of those. We got 2 inch by 1/4 inch by 4 inch. We have 2 of these. We have, let's jump up here, I'm sorry. To complete this box, you're going to have 1.5 by 1/4 by 4 inches long. You got 2 of those. This is going to create the tracking wheel. This is 1.5 wide by 1/4 inch thick. This part down here from this tip down to here is 3.5 inches long. I cut this at a 40-degree angle, and I got 2 of these. This is going to make up the rest of the tracking. It's 2 inches wide by 1/4 inch thick, 3.5 inches long, and I've only got 1 piece of it. We'll get this stuff laid out on the piece of metal that we're going to use. We're going to use these right here as shims to go in between the square stock and these right here. That way it'll allow me to have just a little bit of room so I can slide the stuff in and out. Let me get it clamped up and we'll come right back. Okay guys, this is basically what we're going to do. We'll grab a couple of shims. This is just a regular soda can. And I've cut it and I've folded it over once. Now I'm going to take 2 of these. I'm going to stack them on top of each other. We're going to slide 2 more down here. We're going to put our piece of metal right over the top of it. Just like so. Now we're going to grab another one. Grab 4 more shims. Put it on top of there. Put these 2 on top of here. just like so. We're going to place these up here also. We'll get a set of our C-channel vice grips. What we're going to do is just going to clamp it down for now. Grab another set, clamp it down up front. And all we're going to do is take a hammer, and I've got a machine square right here that I use. I'm going to keep these lined up, just like so. Okay, that's lined up. Now we're going to do the top. Okay, it looks like the whole thing is lined up. Now what I like to do is also put a clamp in the middle. That way we don't get no warpage whenever we weld this together. Just like so. Now I'm going to flip the bar and we're going to do the same thing. This is the 1.5 inch wide metal. Next we'll put the 2 inch on this side. We'll also use the spacers. So let me get this flip and we'll come right back. Alright, we're going to do the same thing here. We've already got our shims laid out here. So all I'm going to do is put one over the top of this one. Try to keep all your ends lined up. Okay. Fish this through here underneath the bottom. Just another clamp here. Another one down here. See, this needs to come down just a little bit on the bottom. I'd rather line all this up now than not be able to whenever I because I've got every bit of this cut pretty square. Alright, now we'll take another clamp in the middle of this one. That all looks pretty good to me. Now, I'm going to flip it back over and I'm going to start tack welding it. When I tack weld this, I'm going to spread it out as much as I can. That way it does not warp this metal at all. Alright folks, there you go. As you can see, got it all burnt in. Got the other side the same way. Now what we're fixing to do is we're going to try to knock this off of this 1.5 inch squared stock. It is going to be a little tight because we do still have the shims inside of there. So it is going to take a little bit of work. But hopefully we can get it done. I did not weld the ends, the very tip of the ends, because I usually trim those down just a little bit. Coming slowly. You'll keep doing that until you get it all the way off. As you can see, I've got it coming out somewhere. I could probably let this metal cool down and it may come off a lot easier than what it is, but yeah, we'll come back when we get the other ones built. It's just the same process. Just repeat it. Alright folks, we're back. As you can see, we've got the side frame built. I've also got the other piece built that comes straight up. What we're doing now is we're drilling the holes that will have the set screws that will hold the attachments. It'll keep them from moving in and out. It calls for a 7/16 hole to be drilled and a 3/8 nut to be welded on it over the hole. You know, you can use a 3/8 bolt inside. So that's what we're going to do right now is we're going to start drilling this out. Put a little bit of fluid on here. A little bit more. I think if you keep these drill bits lubed while you're cutting, it really helps keep the bit longer. Okay, we got that one drilled out. Now we're going to reset it. We'll drill this one and we'll be back. Alright folks, as you can see, got that on there, got it welded, so that part's good to go. Alright folks, this is what it's looking like right now. I've just got it tack welded. This piece here is 4 inches. I just went ahead and used a piece of that box steel that I had. It'll work for this because I don't have to have nothing sliding in and out of it. I've got everything squared up. I used a machinist square. As you can see, everything is perfectly squared, front and back. I've got everything lined up. What we're going to do now is just go ahead and burn in these welds all the way through. Then this thing, the main frame of it, this part will be done. This is just representing what it's going to be. This will have a spring, a compression spring in the bottom of it. And I have just a I'll have a hollow piece made. Well, no, I'll have one of these, but I'm going to have a real good compression spring. That's what's going to keep the tension on the belt. You can imagine 2 rollers here, one there, one up here, and one on the motor. The motor will be back here. I've got it centered of this plate. This is a 12-inch plate. It's 12-inch wide by 1/4 inch. Plenty thick enough. As you can see, looking down the side of it, that is a 1/2 inch plate, and all I've got to do is, if I need to make my belt come out further, the wheels, I can space them out. This up here will be one of those. We've got to drill a hole through it, and we're going to build the belt tensioning system next. So let me get all this burned in here and we'll come back. Alright folks, there we go. I don't claim to be no professional welder or nothing, but definitely got the job done. As you can see, that isn't going to go anywhere. So, next we're going to build is the tensioning rod, or tensioning arm, I'm sorry. We may just use some of that box steel and just cut out a little triangle, but then again, I have already got my other pieces cut. So let me get a piece in here and we'll come back.